Hello, today we will work on chapter 2.2, an introduction to problem solving. And what is problem solving? Is writing and simplifying algebraic expression by applying the steps for problem solving. Objective 1, writing and simplifying algebraic expressions. Let's work an example here. And we have this sentence. Twice a number plus 3 is the same as the number minus 6. And we have to translate this sentence into a math language. So we have this in English. Twice a number. Twice is 2, number 2 times. And the number that we don't know is a variable x plus 3 equals the same number minus 6. Okay, now we have an equation. We have this equal sign here. That means you have an equation, and this side is equal to that side, and that means we can use some properties like addition property or multiplication property that we've learned in the last lesson. The objective of using addition property of multiplication property is basically to have on this side only variables, on the other side only numbers, and simply simplifying it the most we can. To have only variables on this side, we need to get rid of this x here from that side, so we will subtract x from both sides. 2x minus x, x plus 3 equals x minus x, 0 minus 6. And now we need to get rid of this to have only variables on that side. So we're gonna subtract 3 from both sides. X, 3 minus 3, 0 equals negative 6 minus 3, negative 9. That means x equals negative 9. And this is problem solving. Now objective 2, apply the steps for problem solving. And let's see the step by step that we're gonna follow. The general strategy is first, understand the problem. To understand the problem, you're gonna have to read and reread the problem, propose a solution and check, construct a drawing, and choose a variable to represent the unknown. Second step, translate the problem into an equation. Third, solve the equation. Fourth, interpret the results. First, you have to check if the proposed solution is a problem and state your conclusion. Let's see this example to understand. The product of twice a number and 3 is the same as the difference of 5 times the number and 3/4. Find the number. So first you need to understand, read and reread. If we let x equals to a known number, so x is going to be our variable, x. And twice a number, what's twice a number? It's 2x. And the product of twice a number and 3. So it's 2x, and the product is times 3. And 5 times the number translates to, 5 times the number is 5x. The difference of 5 times the number and 3/4. The difference of 5 times the number and 3/4 is this. So next thing, translate into an equation. So we have twice the number here, 2x times 3. This is going to be equal to 5x minus 3/4. And this is twice a number, the product of 3, this side, is the same, means equal. 5 times the number, the difference of 3/4. Now we have an equation. Since we have an equation, we can solve this equation now. And we're going to solve using addition property, multiplication property, simplifying. The first thing, what can we simplify here? We have 2x times 3. We can write down as 6x, right? 2 times 3, 6, 6x equals 5x minus 3 over 4. We need to have only variables on this side, only numbers on that side. So let's subtract minus x, minus 5x from both sides. 6x minus 5x, x equals 5x minus 5x, 0, minus 3 over 4. That means x equals negative 3 over 4. We found a solution. Next step, check, replace the number into the original equation. And the original equation is the original statement. 2 times negative 3 over 4 times 3 needs to be equal to 5 times negative 3 over 4 minus 3 over 4. And we check it out. If we check it out, we're going to see that this is a true statement. So the solution is x equals negative 3 over 4. Now let's work on this other example, example 3. A car rental agency advertised renting a Buick Century for $24.95 per day and 29 cents per mile. If you rent this car for 2 days, how many whole miles can you drive on a $100 budget? Well, first understand the problem. So you have a car, you have the rental per day. The rental per day is 24.95 per day, and 29 cents per mile. If we have what the problem is asking here, the problem is saying that the number of days is 2, and you have a budget. The total you can spend is $100, but you don't know how many miles. You don't know how many miles you need to know. That's the question of this problem. So the variable is the unknown. The thing that we don't know is the number of miles. The number of miles, x. So we're going to call the unknown the variable x. How can we represent this as an equation? The total amount that we have, $100, needs to be, let's do a little bit different. The total amount you're going to spend here is the number of miles, right? Times the price per mile, 29 cents. 29 cents is the price per mile, plus the number of days times the price per day, right? 2 times 24.95, and this is equal the maximum. If you drive the maximum amount of miles on your budget, this is the limit. The maximum that you're going to spend is your budget, is $100. So now we have an equation. If you have an equation, you can solve this this problem by simplifying the equation. Well, first thing, simplifying, we use addition property and multiplication property. And let's simplify a little bit here. Times x plus 2 times 24.95 is 4990 equals 100. And now addition property, we can add 49.90 from both sides, on both sides. If we subtract 49.90 from both sides, now we're gonna have x 0.29x plus 49.90 minus 49.90 is 0. And 100 minus 49.90 is 50.10, right? And now, what's the next step to simplify this? We need to simplify to find x. Multiplication property. You can multiply or divide both sides by 0.29. And if you divide 0.29 by 0.29 is 1 times x, and 50.10 divided by 0.29 is going to be approximately 172.75, and this is an approximation. Well, don't forget this step by step. Now you get this number here and plug in the original equation. Substitute. You do the substitution of x here by 172.75 and check if this is true. Now to answer the problem, remember that the problem asked for whole numbers, and we have here a number of decimals. So if you need only whole numbers, what you're gonna do, you're gonna get rid of the decimals, and the answer is, on your budget of $100, the whole number of miles that you can drive is going to be 172 miles. And you're gonna have some spare money, and this is the answer on whole number of miles. Next example, we have now an example with a geometry example. The measure, example 4, the measure of the second angle of a triangle is twice the measure of the smallest angle. The measure of the third angle of the triangle is 3 times the measure of the smallest angle. Find the measure of the angles. And let's say you don't have this. We need to figure it out. So we draw triangle, and we have the smallest angle here. We call the smallest angle x. The measure of the second angle is twice the measure of the smallest angle, and the third angle is 3 times. All right. And what do we know about triangles? We need to go back to our memory and remember that if you add all the 3 angles inside the triangle, you're gonna find a total of 180 degrees, right? This is the result if you add all the 3 angles of a triangle. So you have x plus 2x plus 3x, and this is going to be equal to 180 degrees. That means x plus 2x plus 3x, 6x, equals 180 degrees. Multiplication property, divide everything by 6. And when I say multiplication property, it's the same thing as if you divide both sides by 6, it's the same thing as multiplying both sides by 1/6. So it's still a multiplication property, an application of the multiplication property, right? Then we have x equals 180 divided by 6, 30 degrees. This is to remember the step by step that you have to read the problem and translate it into math. We've done this here. Then you solve the equation that you found by simplifying, applying addition property, applying multiplication property, and then the last step is going to be to check the solution that you found by plugging in the original equation. Now our last example, number 5. The sum of 3 consecutive even integers is 252. Find the integers. If we have consecutive even integers, we know what do you know about this? Consecutive, even, and integers. That means if one number is if the first number is x, we don't know. The next number is a consecutive number, is an even number, so it's x plus 2, and the next one is an even number and consecutive, x plus 4, right? So we have here 3, and assuming that x is an integer, 3 consecutive even numbers. The sum of these 3 consecutive even integers is 252. That means x plus 2 plus x plus 4 equals what? 252, right? We translated, we understood the problem, we translated into an equation. Now let's solve the equation. And we're gonna solve the equation by simplifying, applying addition property, applying multiplication property. Add like terms. We have like term here, and there, and there. So we have this. It's going to be x plus x plus x, 3x plus, and we have like terms here. This is a like term, this is an unlike term. 2 plus 4, 6, right? And this is equal to 252. Next step here, addition property. And to get only variables on this side, let's subtract 6 from both sides, right? And then you're gonna have only 3x on this side equals 252 minus 6, 246. Is that right? What's the next step now? We have to simplify this. We need to find the result for x, so we divide both sides by 3. Multiplication property. X equals 246 divided by 3, 82. And we go back to the problem. 3 consecutive integers. If x equals 82, the next consecutive integer, even integer, is 84, and the next is 86. And if you add them together, you're gonna find 252. This is true. The solution is x equals 82. And that's it for chapter 2.2.